They should have driven to the island, Brenda thought as they climbed into a cab outside the terminal. She had been coming to Nantucket her entire life, and they always drove and then put the car on the ferry. This year, because of the kids and Vicki's cancer and a desire to get to Nantucket as expediently as possible no matter what the cost, they had flown. They shouldn't have broken with tradition, in Brenda's opinion, because look what happened. They were off to a horrible start already. Melanie had vomited the whole flight, then she fell, giving Vicki something else to worry about. The whole point of the summer was to help Vicki relax, to soothe her, to ease the sickness out of her body. That's the point, Melanie. Now, Melanie was sitting behind Brenda in the cab with her eyes closed. Vicki had invited Melanie to Nantucket for the summer because Melanie had problems. She was dealing with a complicated situation back in Connecticut. But it was also the case that Brenda's company alone had never been enough for Vicki. All their lives, all through growing up, whether it was camping trips, nights at the summer carnival, or church on Sunday, Vicki had brought a friend. This summer it was Melanie Patchen. The news that Melanie would be joining them was sprung on Brenda at the last minute, giving her no opportunity to protest. During the limousine ride from Darien to LaGuardia, Brenda had heard about the complicated situation. Melanie and her husband, Peter Patchen, had been trying forever to get pregnant. They had, in the past calendar year, endured 7 failed rounds of in vitro fertilization. Then, a few weeks ago, Peter admitted he was having an affair with a young woman from his office named Frances Digit. Melanie was devastated. She was so upset she made herself sick. She couldn't keep food down. She took to her bed. Then she missed her period. She was pregnant. And the complicated part of her situation was that she had left Connecticut without telling her husband that she was leaving, and without telling him she was pregnant. She was stealing away with Vicki and Brenda and the kids because she needed time to think, time away. Brenda had taken in this information silently but skeptically. The last thing she and Vicki needed this summer was a stowaway from a complicated situation. Vicki had lung cancer, and Brenda had problems of her own. Earlier that spring, she had been fired from her teaching job at Champion University for sleeping with her only male student. And, as if that weren't catastrophic enough, there were unrelated criminal charges pending concerning a valuable piece of university-owned art. Sex scandal. Criminal charges. Brenda had gone from being hot property, a celebrated young professor, the it girl of Champion University, to being the subject of rumor and gossip. Everyone on Champion's campus had been talking about her. Dr. Brenda Linden, who earned top teaching marks in the English department her very first semester, had conducted an illicit affair with one of her students. And then, for a reason nobody could discern, she had vandalized an original Jackson Pollock, a bequest from a gung-ho alumnus that hung on the wall of the English department's Barrington room. In addition to the mortifying shame of her relationship with John Walsh, Brenda had been forced to hire a lawyer she couldn't afford to deal with the vandalism charges. Best case scenario, Brian Delaney Esquire said, would be the university's art restoration team deciding they could tinker with the painting, fill in the divot, make the painting as good as new. Worst case scenario would be irrevocable damage. The university was still looking into the matter. Brenda had ostensibly come to Nantucket because Vicki had cancer and needed help. But Brenda was also unemployed, unemployable, and in serious need of money. Melanie wasn't the only one who needed time away or time to think. Brenda needed it too, desperately.